Welcome to This Explainer, investors. Today, we are unpacking the hidden manufacturing engine behind global luxury, and we're specifically focusing on high-margin growth and supply chain diversification. If you're currently analyzing macro trends and looking for major global manufacturing shifts, the transformation we are about to break down is absolutely critical. Okay, let's just dive right in and shatter a few preconceived notions about where the world's most prestigious handbags, wallets, and small leather accessories are actually made. The designer label might imply one thing, but the reality of global supply chains tells a different, highly lucrative story. You see, top-tier luxury brands are increasingly relying on India as a critical manufacturing hub. But how exactly did this happen? And more importantly for us, what does this mean for industrial growth and actual economic returns? To wrap our heads around this compelling macroeconomic shift, here is our roadmap. We'll look at 1. The luxury catalyst. 2. Upgrading the value chain. 3. Driving economic returns. 4. Managing manufacturing risks. And 5. Future growth opportunities. Starting with Section 1, the luxury catalyst, igniting the manufacturing engine. Well, before the big luxury houses arrived in full force, India actually already possessed some really powerful structural advantages. As historically one of the world's largest producers of leather goods, the foundation was already poured, so to speak. You have abundant raw material availability, generations of skilled craftsmanship, highly competitive manufacturing costs, and a robust export infrastructure. Ultimately, these are the exact baseline fundamentals any investor looks for when evaluating a manufacturing base. But here's the thing. Having good fundamentals isn't the same as capturing those high margins. Over the last 20 years, a massive structural shift occurred. Global luxury brands started really looking closely at India's capabilities and began partnering with local manufacturers to produce their premium quality goods. And this wasn't just a slight bump in orders, it was a complete industry-wide elevation. The contrast here is actually pretty stark. Historically, Indian exports in this sector were entirely dominated by mid-market products. Think high volume but low margin. Fast forward to today, and that picture has dramatically shifted to premium, high-value goods. This pivot has significantly upgraded baseline industry standards across the board, completely rewriting the economic profile of these manufacturers. Moving right along to Section 2, upgrading the value chain, the operational evolution. So, luxury brands brought way more than just lucrative purchase orders. They brought absolutely relentless standards. Because luxury customers demand perfection, manufacturers had to rapidly upgrade their baseline capabilities through some seriously rigorous quality steps. We are talking about highly specific leather selection processes, pinpoint cutting accuracy, flawless stitching and edge painting, and really stringent packaging standards. These aren't just minor operational tweaks. These represent complete overhauls of factory floor operations. And honestly, the upgrades go way beyond just the physical product itself. Advanced compliance upgrades and ESG requirements forced Indian factories to aggressively modernize their systems to meet institutional standards. Luxury brands require strict social compliance audits, environmental certifications, and total supply chain transparency. Now, for an investor, this is a massive de-risking mechanism. It means the factories that survive this transition are now operating at global, institutional, and fully transparent standards. Plus, luxury buyers expect continuous innovation, not just good execution. And that means deploying heavy CapEx into dedicated product development teams, complex pattern engineering, rapid sampling departments, and deep material research. Because of this strategic capital injection over the years, Indian factories today are phenomenally more capable than they were 2 decades ago. Let's get into the numbers with Section 3, driving economic returns, margin expansion. This shift delivers clinical financial dividends across the board. First up, profitability. Manufacturers are successfully moving away from low-margin items to capture much higher value margins. Second is employment. This transition drives massive growth in highly skilled labor jobs, creating a far more robust workforce. Third, technology. The demands of luxury quite literally force critical, ongoing system upgrades. And finally, foreign exchange. Premium goods result in significantly increased global earnings for the export market. It's essentially a compounding loop of economic value. For anyone tracking industrial growth, this specific evolution is basically the holy grail. Many Indian exporters are no longer just filling orders. They're evolving from simple contract manufacturers into deeply embedded strategic partners for global luxury brands. This signifies a much deeper integration into the global luxury supply chain, which massively strengthens India's overall global manufacturing reputation. And as you know, capital is always much stickier when you operate as a strategic partner. But of course, there are hurdles. Section 4. Managing manufacturing risks. The cost of credibility. Look, the opportunities are substantial, but so is the pressure from these strict luxury demands. You've got zero defect quality requirements, strict delivery timelines, continuous innovation pressure, and very rigid sustainable sourcing mandates. A single quality defect in literally any of these parameters can completely jeopardize years of lucrative, high-margin business relationships. There is virtually no margin for error when you're dealing with global luxury houses. Therefore, maintaining that hard-earned credibility requires continuous, ongoing investment in people, systems, and tech. You simply cannot rest on your laurels here. To remain competitive on the global stage, factory owners have to continually reinvest their profits right back into their operational infrastructure. Which brings us to Section 5, Future Growth Opportunities, looking at the macro forecast. All right, here is the absolute crux of the investment thesis. The ultimate tailwinds right now are centered entirely around global supply chain diversification. Global buyers are actively seeking to diversify their sourcing away from traditional manufacturing hubs. They desperately need resilience, and India represents the perfect de-risking solution at exactly the right time. India is incredibly well-positioned to capture this migrating capital because of 4 critical pillars: a strong craftsmanship heritage that luxury demands, rapidly growing modernized manufacturing capabilities, robust institutional-grade sustainability initiatives, and, perhaps most importantly for the bottom line, sustained competitive costs. Manufacturers that continue to focus heavily on quality, compliance, and innovation around these fundamentals are going to be the ones capturing the absolute greatest ROI from the supply chain migration. So, we've seen how luxury brands have elevated quality standards, improved capabilities, and created really high margin opportunities for growth. The challenge now is moving even further up the value chain. As you evaluate emerging market opportunities and the shifting tides of global manufacturing, I want to leave you with this final thought regarding the incredible capital potential of this transformed sector. Can India become the world's leading luxury leather manufacturing hub? The foundation is certainly there. Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and I look forward to exploring the next big macro shift with you soon.